today?
I got videos. I got motion graphics.
Well, we had black bean burgers, small, delicious black bean burgers with heirloom tomato, kimchi pickle, um, freshly grown sprouts, and homemade uh, cultured vegetables on the side with sweet potato fries. I think I got everything.
Homemade. None of that frozen in the bag stuff. Everything from scratch, with the exception of their cauliflower patty, hash brown patty, we used as a base, so it's an open face
Instead of
burger.
bread. We
Yeah,
used cauliflower patty instead of bread
yeah.
to put the burger on. It
And
was amazing. I'm just finishing up.
look, I got a little clip for you. I want y'all to see this because,
Oh, let me tell you, also, we had the spirulina lemonade.
yeah, to wash it down. Eating good. Harvest Man Cafe. Tell your friends about us. Leave a review, 5 stars. You share this with somebody, you get a free app. Free homemade purple sweet potato fries,
Yes.
sprinkled with seasoned and rosemary. All right, I'm gonna play this little clip for y'all so you can see. Yeah, look at that. It's only 3 seconds. Let me play it back one more time. It's like boom. You see the. All right, that's enough. So we know you all enjoy when we talk about the food that we make because it's an expression, it's an embodiment of us living the truth, and to show people you can eat healthy, uh, it can taste good, it can look good, right? And quite frankly, there's no need for dining at the restaurants because the quality is low, the energy of the staffers, it's just not the vibe. So we make this joke saying, look, you want Chinese? We got Chinese at home. You want burgers? We got burgers at home. You want Mexican? We got Mexican at home.
We so enjoy having you all be part of our lifestyle. This podcast is not us just speaking to you. This is a live stream where you can interact with us, you can talk back to us, you can understand what we're eating, understand what we're doing, ask us questions about it, see the results of how we eat, how our brains work, and what we have to say. And then you can be expanded if you choose to.
Most certainly. Free will or free won't. So, welcome again, everyone. We see a couple of people are rolling into the live stream. And today, if you are in fear, you will not see a way out. And the moment you shift into strength, various options begin to appear. So, today we're going to show how fear has been keeping us stuck and how we can step out of that. And so, today's card pool we're looking at is the theme fear. And you may have saw the thumbnail, collapse the fear program. And we're looking at this from like the collective, right? Like what's happening, what we're experiencing. And so today's card pool is when you come from a point of fear, you don't see a solution. When coming from a point of strength, solutions come forth. So that's going to be our topic today. Any initial thoughts before I jump into these announcements?
I have a lot to say about it, but I'm
You're just
going to
gonna
wait
hold back.
until
You're
after.
gonna
Yeah,
keep it
yeah, I have a lot to say
ready,
about it.
set. Okay, so before we begin, just a couple of announcements. We're still within Soul Translation class, so we're having a really great time. We just went through the activation of releasing and calling back our power from the different categories that we've identified, the institutions, memberships, subscriptions, taking vows, relationships, businesses, medical facilities, everything that we're engaged with for the most part through operating in this reality, just kind of giving of ourselves. And it became so clear. It's like when you know something and then you're like, dang, I went a a lower level or deeper level of knowing this, where literally just to participate, it's like you got to give up yourself.
It's true, but also identifying that that's what's happening allows some of it to come back, even without the class, even without you having to make the list. But the more you do, the more you get back.
Yeah.
So yes, to participate in our world, you have to give up parts of your soul or parts of yourself, small incremental pieces. But knowing that it's taking place and not being in accord with it starts bringing it back to you and starts to set a precedent that everything just can't come and take whatever it wants from you. Every pledge, every vow, every opportunity, every terms and condition, every contract, even the ones that are epigenetic.
That's right.
So
Awareness makes a difference.
it's a win just hearing about this.
Yeah, but then the next level is bringing it back in. So I had some experiences, several other people have, and so we're going to continue with the class. We have one more day next week, and so we have students who are equipped with pulling back their power. So the understanding is that it goes beyond the class, where we are continuing to interface with reality, and so we can still interface and ensure that they're not keeping our life force on subscription. So I think it's a beautiful thing, especially for souls who are looking to continue to grow and evolve, and take all of themselves with them into the next phase. And so one more day, next week Tuesday, Soul Translators. And so stay tuned for the next Soul Translation class as well, where we have that in the works for continued education. Also in tandem, we have free energetic protection and defense class. Right. It's really, really good, and today is our second day. So this class that I teach is often on Thursdays, and our first day was primarily focused on understanding that everything is you, that you are not separate from what you see. And so understanding that what you are feeling is based off of what's inside of you, not so much what's outside of you. And coming to terms with it, getting a grip. And so the students had various exercises of moving throughout the week, stretching into seeing the connection through a particular activation that was provided to enhance the perceptual awareness that I'm connected to, even the things within the space that I'm in, my home, because sometimes it seems like we're separate from it, and carry that throughout the day at work, with children, with strangers, and because we are the field. And so in today's class, the guidance, this is what I love about our classes. They're fluid, they flow, sometimes things pivot, things shift around, and it's never the same, even though these are recurring classes. So today we're going to focus on probably like a lighter version of calling back energy and sending things back that may accumulate in your field, and then also speak about spiritual immunity and energetic parasites. Yes. And this level of the consent that allows and permits these type of attachments to develop. So just to call back to what you were saying, awareness is key. If you have awareness of what's happening, using these techniques will be much more powerful, and you'll be much more successful with sustaining your power and your life force. So any thoughts on this before we shift to our next idea?
All of this is part of the fear card for today. All of
look at that.
I've got something, what I'm about to say when we start will speak to all of this.
All right. I see you loading up. You got the...
I got both my six guns.
You got something on your back. You got something in your pant leg. I see you over there loading up. Like, I see you, Tarvars. Just keep going. Okay, so I'm going to keep going. Yesterday, we had a wonderful surprise guest. Shanice Hemphill joined Diane of the Sun on the In Lakesh studio, the Wednesday meditations at midday noon, and she let us do some breath work. And I highly encourage you to check it out, especially if you're somebody who's familiar with breath, but maybe it's out of sight, out of mind. She dropped some really good fundamental knowledge. It was very easy, user-friendly, beginning, entry level, but it's so applicable. One of the highlights that she mentioned, which I so resonated with it, because I could see the truth through property clearing, which is when you're on the roads and what we're moving through and how that impacts our bodies. There's clenching and tensing up, and unconsciously we don't even know what's happening, and we're passing through energy fields of road rage, trauma from accidents, other forms of aggression and fear, and regulating ourselves with the breath, just breathing deep. And by the way, Laota is often like, don't be doing no energy practices on the road. Don't text and drive, don't energy practice and drive. But breath work, that's something where
you can breathe.
Because people be doing the most. I'm gonna clear a property while I'm driving, and it's like, no, don't do that. It's not. Well, that's another story. But anywho.
Well, that's part of what, I'm so glad you brought this up. That's the whole topic of what happens on the highways and why the highways have been designed and built where they're built. Here in Georgia, many of the highways are on battlefields. Yeah. Where everything is still going on. And so we are unconsciously responding to things that happened in the 18 and 1900s, that because that land was chosen quite by design and on purpose.
Most certainly.
Yeah. So there's a lot to be said about that, but we won't do that.
We can go on and on. We're going to pause on it. So these are great themes and topics, maybe even more so future topics as well. And so this upcoming Friday, join Diane for the Divination workshop, Call for the Truth cards for the group card pool. And of course, every Thursday we've been pulling a card and speaking on it, but expanding more to the relevance of humanity. And on Fridays at 7, she does a free card pool live stream. And it's the truth that we need to hear, and it's so relevant. You know, usually we can see the information previously, earlier in the week, and we can see where we are now and the future. 3-card spread, past, present, future. And so that's 7 p.m. And then I'll be joining her as a co-host on there, or guest host. And then next week, Friday, Quantum Light Property Clearing Chronicles. Diane of the Sun, Tiffany of the Sun, Lauren of the Sun, Tarvars of the Sun. We'll be there discussing Quantum Light Property Clearing, sharing our powerful stories, very transformational stories that have really affirmed us in this modality, seeing how we can heal ourselves, how we can heal people by healing the space.
Yeah.
Because the space informs the people.
Right.
It's a whole shift in perspective when you understand I can have dominion and authority over my field in the sanctity, but quantum light property clearing, it expands us into, this is again the idea of recognizing that you're more than just your physical body. Who you are extends to the space, and like if you practice an energy hygiene and keep yourself highly vibrational, doing that for the space, but at a deeper level, being able to identify what the specific energetic interferences are, what the specific frequencies are, it's more than just like, let me light a candle. You know, you can hone in on what was imprinted. So we're gonna have some fun, and I'm excited. And one last thing, next month, Quantum Light Property Clearing in the month of April. That's right. You wanna learn Quantum Light Property Clearing? You wanna learn how to clear properties remotely, long distance, be in the space, non-physically, but really be there? So we're hosting this on Thursdays and Saturdays from 6 to 9. It's a 3-hour class. This is one of the advanced classes. The prerequisites, energy hygiene 101, energetic protection and defense. Laota's one mind reconnection class, sun calibration, and DNA activation. So for those who have been pacing, getting your prereqs in over the year, now's the time to sign up. For those who are looking to come back in for an audit, you know, like I want to brush up on my skill set, join us. We're going to have some fun because, as usual, the classes are always uniquely different. So, and then one last thing, Sun and Sea Coffee is back in stock robustly. So if you are a distributor, franchisee owner, or just somebody who wants to have an alternative for their coffee life, this is the coffee for you. Sun and Sea Coffee, it is energetically enhanced coffee that consists of this beautiful synergistic blend of Colombian coffee, organic Colombian coffee, chlorella, which helps make it alkaline. The sweetener is Lakanto monk fruit, and the creamer is hemp milk powder. So it's all dairy-free, gluten-free, all that stuff, all the free stuff, right? And so the beautiful thing about this is that the body responds differently. When you drink regular coffee, you know, it pulls out your nutrients, it strips you of it, robs you of it, and then you got that crash. With this, it's all the energy without the crash. So you can sustain the highly vibration, and you don't even need that much. You know, it's about a 16-ounce jar. You take about a whopping spoonful or half a tablespoon for 4 ounces, 8 ounces, and it'll keep you going. And plus, again, you're giving your body nutrients, not being stripped of it. So this is on the Other Sun website. You can just go into the product section, or you can just type Sun and Sea Coffee. Sun and Sea, because chlorella, sea. All right, so that wraps up our announcements. I want to thank you all for sticking with us with the announcements, and welcome you all for joining us here with Laota of the Sun. We're talking about fear today. When coming from a point of fear, you don't see a solution. When coming from a point of strength, solutions come forth. I want to give a quick shout out to everybody who's here.
Yay.
Really quick. Stephanie Singletary, Inlakesh Veritas, sending big love. Yusef Muhammad, Inlakesh Veritas. Inlakesh Studio 1 is in the house. Inlakesh Veritas eating her Bing Burger in the audience, might I say. I almost want to like take the camera. Lisbeth is here. Inlakesh Veritas. Leoneri, she said, yeah, it looks fancy. I know that's right. Yes. And feeling too. I feel like I've been tricked into thinking that healthy food leaks or makes you hungry, I think, or makes you hungry again. It's so satisfying, and that's the thing. It's satisfying, fulfilling, but you don't feel heavy, you know.
And that's what I was just thinking. You just read my thought, is that you feel it's like eating, when you eat something really delicious and light, you notice that you're not bulked up and that you're not bloated, but it's so different from the food that we would normally eat. You eat a double cheeseburger with bread and cheese, and you feel once you digest it, you feel, oh, well, there's room for something else. But that's not how it is with this kind of food.
Yeah.
The food is so light that you just maintain your lightness, but more importantly, the ability to have energy to do other things, to have cognitive power, is not all tied up in digestion. So you can think a little better, but you're still nourished.
That's right. Get you some, Lay Leon. All right. Who else we have in the house? CC Tree is in the house. I'm Elijah Woods. Peace, abundance of power, light, love, truth, and the wisdom to eat the rainbow. I know that's right. I know that's right. Yes, Elijah. Russ Golston is in the house. In Lakesh, peace, love, and light to all. Stacy OTS in Lakesh. Lauren Cornell's in the house. In Lakesh, Veritas. We got Delilah Burrows in Lakesh, Veritas. And Romansky. Julianne is in the house. Happy equinox. Right back at you. We're waiting for spring over here. Still a little cold and chilly, but
Yeah.
you know, anticipation.
That's right.
All right, so Laota, when coming from a point of fear, you don't see a solution. There's a lot of fear in the environment. There's a lot of broadcasts. I was just having a conversation with you and Diane of how there was a storm system that was announced coming through the East Coast, and we haven't been on social media like that. And I decided to go on, and that's when I saw the report, and I could just see how much fear. I only saw 2 reports, just how much fear. I'm like, nah, it made me close the app. And, you know, looking at the broader picture, it's everywhere. Fear of war and fear of what they're doing to our food, fear of what's happening to the air, fear of what's happening with everything, right? Microplastics, you name it. Dark forces, what we are finding out about the government and the world, history, you know, all 4 beings, all of that is fear that keeps us out of solutions. How do we tap into the strength that helps solutions come forward?
It's so interesting because I think most people can see that we're being pushed towards feeling fear, like the way things are presented, the wars, the rhetoric, the language, all of the things, even with the weather warnings, the listeria outbreaks, the burning of food warehouses, all of this. And it isn't that it is not true, but it does not necessarily have to affect you. It is, the information is what is being given to us, so that even though now, because of GMOs and because of synthetic food and because of 3D printed meats, we're not producing food, we are in a country that harvests fear and uses the fear as the currency. So we're constantly having to be made fearful every so many weeks so that we can satisfy the beast
Yeah.
that wants to eat the aspect of us that gives it fear, which is the harvesting of the product. So this is, once you realize that's what's going on, then you can see that the information that's coming to you is a signal. That's a signal that you're responding to in the unseen and in the seen. Like, oh, I got to be worried about this thing and that thing at Walmart and exploding watermelons and salmon with worms and all these different things that are going on, and weather. But it's the signal, and what we have to do is take control of the signal.
Yes.
It's up to us before the signal makes us or informs us to be afraid, that we see the signal and, like, I will control the signal that's coming to you, and then you have control over you. If you are oblivious or not paying attention, or if you're slack and disorganized, then the signal controls you.
That's right.
The signal is fear, and the reason for the signal is this is dinner for the beast. They're harvesting the food for the beast. Is your low vibrational fear is what they want. So do the opposite. Be happy.
So I had some thoughts last night. I was thinking of how one of my greatest defenses against dark forces is to be childlike, to be so carefree. La da 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 da. I was on the phone with my grandmother last night. I told you all about it, but there was a moment where like she was just attempting to throw me into her suffering and dump, and then I bust out laughing in her face. I bust out loud saying, there ain't nothing good in the conversation, is it? Where's the good? Am I asking the right questions? I don't know. And it kind of shook her up, you know, but I think at a deeper level, anti-life cannot do anything with that type of joy and excitement and enthusiasm. I I can see when I was exploring this last night, I was seeing how there is an attack on youthfulness, on childhood, on purity, and this idea how we have lost it. And you know, when we get older, it's like I'm an adult, you know, and we kind of lose the childlike, free, being open and laughing and making jokes. It's just really like serious and rigid. And I feel like in that being so serious all the time, anti-life can come in. Like, where's the room for joy? Where's the room for laughter? Where's the room for freedom? In the face of fear, you know, in terms of reclaiming the narrative. You know, so I see that calling forth the frequencies, specifically like joy, we call forth excitement, enthusiasm, and delight, and how it spikes you up to where essentially it's you taking back control over the technology and how you're interpreting the signal that you're talking about. You know, and I can see where if we aren't consciously participating and we're on autopilot, we're going to get hijacked. And it's like anti-life depends on our absent-mindedness to hijack us. It's so fascinating, but I really feel like, let me be happy.
I think this is an excellent antidote. Darkness never comes from above, from the high frequency of laughter. It comes from below.
That
the depression, the sadness, the suffering, what you experience with your grandmother, that's where, and also it's coming from the people we love.
Yeah.
You know, I'm suffering. Can't you see my suffering? Don't get off the phone. I've got more suffering for you. And it's important for us to control our signal. In moments like that, like what you did, that was you laughed and it broke it up and she didn't crack and break and it was okay.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, in that circumstance, because I think a lot of you all experience this, and let us know if this is something that you experience when you're with your family members and you're looking to sustain yourself above their fear, right? It may be fear of something you're doing. Like, I live on liquids. That's me. Sunshine, air, earth, water, juice. My grandmother and family members are fearful. They're like, they don't understand it. So their misunderstanding and their fears broadcasted. If you're not strong in who you are, it can pull you under. So this is something that I think everybody deals with. Oh, you shouldn't fly to so-and-so, or don't travel, or don't do this business deal or that, you know, because of their own preconceived ideas or the suffering that they've had, which may have been a reality, but they're projecting it onto us. And so in that experience, I'm looking to sustain freedom for myself and others, I'm thinking, how can I be in this conversation? I'm talking to my guidance, without trying to control my grandmother, without trying to make her not be in fear and make her stop talking. How do I Jedi mind trick my way out of this? How do I do? And they said, just radiate. So the whole time, well, initially I felt her plug in or attempt to plug into the solar plexus. They said, light the hell up, and I lit up. And it's like, it kind of kept her out, but it kept me above, and that's where the thoughts and the information came in. And I think that speaks to today's card, where like I chose strength, I chose to be the light, I chose to radiate, and then it was like, keep it lighthearted, make jokes, and then that's when I saw the light hit, and then after that we were on the phone for about an hour and 40 minutes.
So you were in your signal. You held your signal. You controlled your signal. You didn't let her signal control you.
No. I didn't.
And often it comes through in the word fear is the word ear.
Oh gosh, it's all in my ear. It's in my ear, Laota.
And you have to hold your signal. You have to know what your signal is before you pick up the phone. All right.
That's right. Strategy.
What's my motivation?
Be the light. I'm the sun. Radiate. That's right. That's right. This is not a joke. This is serious. Like, you have to go into it like that,
Yeah.
especially when you know what your weaknesses are and you love a person and there's the compassionate chords.
Especially when there's compassionate chords and family members, and you already understand how they think because your whole life you've been studying how they think. They know how you think, and their attempt to control you in the signal is really what's going on. So it seems like you created an act of love of not letting her go down that path with you, even if you can't control what she does when you're not with her.
I almost hung up. So, grandmother, I will end this call. Just so you know, balance.
That's holding the signal, controlling and holding your own signal, but you have to have clarity of what your signal is. You have to be high fidelity. You got to be like stereo.
I like that.
High fidelity.
High fidelity.
Yeah, like I'm in high fidelity, that's my signal. And anything else you say, if it doesn't reach the pitch of high fidelity, then it will not land and find fertile ground here. And you're not going to want to talk to me. Like it is its own disconnect. If I'm only speaking from high fidelity and you're speaking from fear and depression and sadness, it's not a match. You're not going to you're not going to want to talk to me. I'm going to be unattractive to you. You're not going to want to watch my podcast. You're not going to want to be with us. You're going to be too fearful to have the experience of high fidelity because it requires you to discipline yourself in a world that we are all born into that is not high fidelity.
So let's talk a little bit about that discipline because, and by the way, if you're watching this and you're with it, drop a little like or something. Let the algorithm know that this is landing and other people need to hear this. You might even see a little button that says hype the video. Laota's grandson told me about it. He said, tell the people to do that. If you want to do it, please do it. Like it's going to help people see this video. But let's really talk about that because it's like you have to make a decision and it requires, just a second. Diane, you mind grabbing that? It's Abrion. It requires like really choosing to raise up above it. It's like you really have to will yourself. And in that incident with my grandmother, I saw a micro of the macro. I was seeing what we're all up against with all the different fear broadcast signals in the collective where I had to choose not to fight because it wanted the fight.
Yes.
It wanted the tangle. And I had to choose not to. I had to choose to demagnetize. Like, I'm not taking it in. And not taking it in is not fighting it. Stop saying that. Stop thinking so negatively. Why you always think negative? I can't never talk to you when you know, this is why I don't call you. Right? No. Let me just raise up through frequency and see. And I think this is a testament, though, to our higher dimensional self and like how we can really influence the field, whether it's either raise them up or like, you know, they may be demagnetized. They may not want to. It may be like energetically nails on a chalkboard.
Oh, it is for sure, but the law in the universe takes care of that. If they will either resonate into the frequency, they'll raise up higher than where they were, or they will make you come down to where they are, and then you all can meet in that no man's land, or you will demagnetize. You will no longer be magnetized to each other, and you'll get off the phone. And it's okay. You don't have to control someone else's outcome. You don't have to control how quickly they will learn or whether they can be fearless today or tomorrow. You know, the idea of it's really about courage. It's like Grandma had the courage to meet you where you were, so she had enough desire to speak to you that it gave her the impetus to meet you where you were rather than lose the connection. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
You know, be that magnetism, be that magnetic aspect. Be that like, well, I'm going to just sit in the sun. I'm just going to come out of the shade and go sit in the sun and get my nutrients from my grandson.
Speaking of nutrients, the conversation shifted to speaking about microbiome. Because she's like, the doctor got me taking these antibiotics. I'm like, Granny, what my perception is on that. They want to keep you sick. And she's like, stuff is happening. I'm having reactions. What's going on? I'm like, you asking me? Okay. So then we started talking about probiotics, and it's just again there was a correction. There was a shift through not feeding into the fear or the cult of fear. That's
one of the ways
like.
know that a shift can take place is if the person will ask the question. If the person is just talking and telling you the facts of their experience or the perception of their experience or the delusion of their experience, there's really no room for elevation. Once the person's willing to ask a question, which then allows you permission to speak to them, there's an opportunity.
Yeah.
There's no opportunity when a person's like, I'm going to Florida, and then I'm going to go to Montana, and then I'm going to ride on a cruise. And even though there may be a lot of information, it's just like how we operate here. I have information, but if you don't ask me the question, it doesn't open up the can of information.
Look, if you ever message Laota of the sun, emissary of all that is, put a question mark at the end if you want a response, because that is her design. She best operates through responding. A statement doesn't really give us much to respond. It's just like, noted, I'm informed.
It's an okay of knowledge. I am of knowledge. Okay, you're going to Swaziland, alrighty.
Got it.
But you didn't ask me about it, and I'm not asking you to ask me, but I'm noting that, okay, I have that information. Now, if anyone were to ask me, stay in Swaziland.
Yeah. But they didn't tell me, they didn't ask me about Swaziland, what excursion I should go on. Should I go to Swaziland?
I am,
Where's Swaziland? I mean, it's like, where's Swaziland at? That sounds interesting.
you want to go there?
Like they do some magical stuff at Swaziland. Anywho.
I am a woman who is in harmony with the laws and principles of creation, which allows me to answer that which I am asked. It doesn't allow, the laws and principles of creation doesn't allow me to interfere with someone's plans or what they're doing without permission.
I think that's so beautiful because often we, especially people who are like healers and practitioners, when you learned a little something, got something under your belt, and you're on the path, you see something and nobody asks you, but you're like, oh, I'm gonna tell you what that is, and I'm gonna school you, I'm gonna teach you, get you right, and it's just so out of order.
Well, it's because it would be good to be acknowledged for the things we have learned, and it's all understandable. But it is not within the laws and principles of creation. I get it. I mean, I understand it.
Yeah.
I'm not offended by it, but I'm not going to do it because the laws and principles require me to respect what a person wants from me. And their willingness to ask gives me permission. Without you asking, unless you're my child or you're in my care, that's the only time that's relaxed.
I think energetically it's so clear. And I know you all have likely noticed it when they have not asked for your advice. It's like you're hitting a wall. Especially if you're aware, you can tell when that information ain't sinking in. You're like, oh, damn, it's just dropping on the floor. But sometimes people aren't aware. It's just so zealous to get enlightenment. Raise your frequency.
Well,
and
the reason
it doesn't land or integrate.
The reason I can be so clear on it is I used to be that person. I've always had a lot of information, and I would leave conversations bloodied, like all beat up, because I'm sharing information. People are not, they didn't come there for that. They didn't ask me for it, but I felt the need. Felt the need to share it with them for my own inconsistencies.
Yeah.
And that was years of being battered. No more. We don't do that no more.
That's right.
So I'm very clear on it because I've lived it. I lived the other side of it. I'm not saying it as if it took years of bloody noses.
Yeah. Hydrogen peroxide on those.
Oh, you know so much? Like, who asked you?
Yeah. But on the flip side, though, it's like, dang, like seeing the soul that is receptive, they're asking for it, they want it, and then you see them put it into motion.
Yes.
It's like everybody wins.
Oh, it's a glory. It's absolutely a glory. And that's the moment to wait for. All of the young healers who come to us, who I teach, you cannot want for the person to want to be correct more than they want to be healed or corrected. It's the first lesson. Otherwise, you think, well, I'm the healer. Let me just heal everybody and let me beat myself up if they don't get healed.
No,
But that's not how healing works. Healing doesn't work that way. The person actually heals themselves and you facilitate the healing. So pull back a little bit on that solar plex chakra.
Get up out of that hologram.
Yeah.
Get back into yourself.
Yeah, and know that your clarity is what elevates you, not your misunderstandings. So you are encouraged to be a witness to the truth of each situation. If you're in a situation where you're talking to your grandmother on the phone and you're witnessing a slide into lower frequencies, where what you can do is one way you can do it is the way you did it. You can say, oh, I'm announcing what's going on. Now you have a choice. I'll stay on the phone with you or we're going to end this call. And that's a healing. She chose high fidelity.
That's right. Good job, Grandma. High fidelity for you.
Yes, and then you were able to talk about expansive subjects that your grandmother is conversant in, but the lower frequencies don't bring you into the higher topics. You all weren't talking about microbiome when she was talking about her complaints.
No, and you know how deep the program goes? I asked her about her dog, which is the love of her life, right? You know, her children are all grown up. One has transitioned. Grandkids come around pretty often, but the dog is in the house with her. How's Mello? She's like, oh, he's fine. And by the way, so this problem with my car and like da-da-da-da. And let me tell you about how they just treated me at the dealership. I was like, no, why? Mello. And then that's when I bust out laughing. I was like, But again, deciding, and I know this is about the root, and I actually want to pivot to the root and speaking about the idea of light body, because what we are doing collectively, we are filling these energy centers with light through frequencies, truth, joy, and gratitude. We are amplifying these energy centers that can help sustain us. Like, for example, the solar plexus. So I kind of want to look at that. Solar plexus, I have been seeing where it's like everything is telling me, as you said, pull completely back. Pull completely back from this illusion, this hologram, pull back. And like it's interesting because it's so paradoxical where it's like, it's happening, but I'm here. It's me, but like,
Yeah.
You know, it's such a thing. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh my gosh, like my brain has to become different to function this way. Like it's a process. It's let me daily post in these opportunities of when the news or I see something on social media, let me pull back, you know, or family, clients, let me pull back, you know, not be so attached. But I see it so much with the solar plexus. What arises when you hear me say this, ma'am?
Well, the first thing I was thinking was, it's interesting that you note that it is you. It is all of humanity that is having the experience we're having because we're all here. But it isn't just the conscious part of us. It's the unconscious part of us. It's the ancestral part of us. It's the past life part of us. It's the future part of us. All of that is coming through, and we don't recognize it because we don't remember it, and we're not willing to accept it because it's not pleasant and it's not wonderful. Yeah. But our attention feeds it.
Yes.
You know, so we feed the fear by looking at and listening to, like, I noticed the social media is full of horrible stories of finding dead bodies and people being absconded with and all of these different things. And every time we look at it and give our attention to it, there's more of it. There's more of it in our world because we don't know how energy works, but the way energy works is that you give it your attention, that is giving it your consciousness, that is the mass consciousness. So now our feeds are full of individuals telling stories of horrific things that will be salacious and that will be scary or that will induce dopamine. So we're going there to get the dopamine. They're getting the attention and the consciousness that continues the engine that grows the world out of control.
This is so major because this requires, I see that this requires humanity to start shifting their perception of what commodity is in our reality. What's the deeper, because if you've probably considered, are they doing all this for the money? Like, it's got to be more than that, right? Because it is.
The money
Right?
isn't even
Yeah.
a real thing.
Exactly. But like, people who go down the rabbit hole, they see conspiracies and they see forces conspiring against humanity, especially like billionaires and elites, and they're like you got all the money, what else do you want? What more could it be? And it's this, it's the consciousness, the attention, the energy, the life force to harvest it. And I think that, again, like you say, with the awareness, it puts us in a greater position because I feel like we as humans don't fully have it, and then when we do, it requires to keep it in the forefront when we're engaged, because we're like fish in the water. We're like submerged in the system. It's everywhere around us.
It's also the idea that we misunderstand the elements. We hear that people have billions of dollars, and then we think, well, it must be the money that's evil. But that's not the case.
Nah.
That's not the case. That abundance and prosperity are not the villain. However, because somebody's got a private plane, or because they own an island, and they happen to have it, and we think of that as something to be admired and to be sought after, it is really our own misunderstanding that attributes this consciousness to it. So, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, hearing you say this, I had this thought that it is typical of spiritual people to not want money. We in soul clearings see that people take vows. Sometimes people have taken vows of poverty in previous incarnations.
I have cleared so many magical people who, because they understood that principle, have inside of their head taken a vow of poverty and not realized it. And then they fight with themselves to just maintain normal abundance, just normal pay their bills and live, but they can't because they took a vow of poverty because they believed something about money that is not true.
Yeah.
That the reality is that the universe is abundant, and that every soul was created to be prosperous. However, the way we view the world makes us override our blueprint and say, well, no, because that person has it, it must be terrible. And then when I'm doing a soul clearing, they won't release it. Like, I'll clear it, and then they'll re-inform themselves. Every time they see something that they think is unattractive about wealth, and then they stay, and whole communities, whole groups of people become that way based on their religious or cultural beliefs, or what they think is elevated and enlightened.
I think about this, I say to myself, who's winning? Who's benefiting from, again, look at the context. Spiritual people who want a better world, who want clean water, clean air, this, that, and the third, right? Want to change and shift help humanity shift, raise consciousness in all facets of our experience. Who is benefiting from that type of person not having the resources to do such a thing in this reality?
Well, what happens is, not inadvertently, an indirect response to not wanting to have what you need to navigate the world, there's nothing but suffering. Because you don't have what you need to navigate the world as it is. It's not the world that will be under your direction and curation in the future, but it is the world we live in at the moment. So if you can't drive because you don't have insurance, or you can't buy a car, and so you can't drive, and you don't have a bus, or you can't pay your rent, so then you live with people you don't want to, or that's all suffering.
Yes.
So it still achieves. So you're allowed to think it is incorporated in the anti-life agenda. Yeah, let them be in poverty, because poverty is not a thing, it's a state of mind. So even living in a castle a person could be in poverty.
It's so fascinating. I want to speak on that briefly. You did a property clearing recently, and we do frequency reads on the property, looking at some of the dominant frequencies within the morphic field in the present, or the past, the present, and how that's influencing the future of the field, right? And in the present of that client's property, in their environment, was poverty. And it's wild because I was like, I know y'all not broke. I know you got money, you know, kind of affluent. But it was their thoughts. It was these feelings of lack within relationship, feeling like they're not getting what they need, and and it was coming in through the root. So it was like one of the people in the household were dealing with physical issues, so the lack with health and well-being. So it's I say that to say, in support of what you're just saying, like it's not always monetary, but it's like we're going against the blueprint, as you say, where we could have all things, but something there is attached to the opposite.
I've also seen it in soul clearings where the person will be a millionaire and will still be in poverty because of the way they think about the money.
Which is wild how
they may not want to spend it, or
perception.
they won't want to give anybody a tip, or they won't want to.
Yeah, real frugal and no.
So I've seen it in a lot of different ways, but this is a choice. This is an experience of consciousness of choice based on what we have witnessed and the truth of what we witness. If we witness the world being cruel because of what appears to be money, then we will make choices that keep us from being a perpetrator of that. But the reality is that if we raise ourselves up and look and witness the world through the eyes of the higher frequencies, we'll recognize we're all supposed to have what we need. The squirrels have what they need. The birds got what they need. The blueberry bush has what it needs. Why shouldn't we, as part of that same system, have what we need?
Well, I think it's because our consciousness is operating separate outside of the system of the flow, and we don't see ourselves as that.
And the system itself has been designed to imprison and enslave us into the frequencies of suffering. So this only further supports the system.
Yeah. So funny enough, I wanted to get back to the root, but I feel like everything we've just said within the last few moments really speaks directly to the root chakra and fear, and how to strengthen yourself so solutions can come forth. Before we go to commercial break, you had any other thoughts on this?
I have a lot of other thoughts on
yeah,
this.
that's right, because you got the, in the back, you got the, in your coat.
But they require us to look at how the world has been constructed, how our ancestors thought about it, and their thoughts, which are still alive in us. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, their thoughts, our grandfather, our great-grandmother, their experience is still alive in us and may be still broadcasting, and we may have an ear to it. So it's more than us, but we're big enough to put it all, to control our signal. We're big enough to control this, to identify what am I responding to that's making me uncomfortable or not giving me what I need to manage with. And then you can control that signal by releasing it. You can say, I release that which is not in my best and highest interest, and especially as relates to my prosperity. You can release that. You don't have to keep it, or you can keep it and keep learning about it.
All right, see how that work out.
Yeah.
It's not working out.
But it's okay. Like, we're not here to make you release anything. Yeah. I'm just saying, if you want to, it can be done. Yeah. So.
All right. So
that's the last thing I have for right now.
All right. So let's go to a quick commercial break. We're going to go to a commercial break from our sponsor, Aluka. You all want to see that burger again, that bean burger? I'm going to show that bean burger one more time. Today's sponsor is Harvest Man Cafe. Okay. Just kidding. We're going to show Aluka Inc., who is our sponsor today. Just a moment.
So, what does the future of money look like to you, Alex?
The future of money won't be about what we use. It'll be about who we trust. We're heading into a world where money is no longer paper. It's data. Central bank digital currencies, programmable payments, and surveillance systems will redefine how value moves. But here's the twist. The more digital it gets, the more people will crave something real. That's why gold and silver aren't disappearing. They're becoming the anchor in a world of floating code. Money will evolve technologically, but it will always revolve.
Just a second. All right, so there's a little hiccup with the commercial. However, we're going to go ahead and put Alex's site on the screen. So Alex specializes in wealth, assets management, and protection, and currently has a refinery, a gold refinery, and silver. He's processing silver now, which is cool, in Dubai. And so what he is focused on is he understands many of the things that we speak on because he is of the sun, and that the systems are collapsing. They're looking to bring in cryptocurrency, but to get back to the truth. And from like a monetary perspective, a financial perspective, gold has always been the standard. And so for anyone who's looking to invest any monies into gold, hard assets, you can visit alukainc.com. We'll put the website on one more time, alukainc.com, and book a consult to find out how you can get some gold and or some silver, because you know it's hard to, you know, do things with gold bricks and blocks. You know, you gotta have some silver coins on you or something, you know, for when the systems collapse. However, you have any thoughts on this at all, Laota?
Yes, I think that it's so wonderful that the frequency, we have the frequency match of what is real, what exists from creation, what has always had value and still remains valuable, whether we live in a world, whether we're out here on those cyber streets or not.
Say it. We own these cyber streets. That's
Yes.
what it is.
It's really wonderful, and we are so grateful for that connection.
Most certainly. Again, I want to thank everyone for joining us. You all are still sticking with us, and I think that means you find value in this. And so we're going to go to some of the comments and see what you all are saying in the chat and hash some of this out.
I have one more thing I'd like
Yes,
to
ma'am.
share. What I was sharing previously about the idea of the signal, that we were talking about money, but it applies to fear. You hold the signal that everything is fine. There is no death. Everything will always be fine. Hold the signal and don't let your consciousness be absconded and you be tricked and trapped in a system that's trying to use your fear to imprison you, because that's the reality.
It's wild, ain't it? It's like,
Yeah.
you ain't got no power and you need us. And then we think we ain't nothing, so we give our power up and then
Yes, and so it works.
look at us.
Yeah, it is actually the answer to the first question about the fear card.
Yeah.
You know, so it took a while and I didn't remember to say.
It's all good. You had to pull the one that you had in your pant leg. You forgot when you loaded that one. All right, ongoing joke. I don't know if you all are catching it. For those who missed out earlier, Laota was loaded up with replies like John Wick or something out here. All right, so let's see here. Lilion Eddie says, I'm tired of feeling like I'm fussing at them, and I'm at the point to where I sometimes feel like I'm not going to be able to talk to certain people anymore.
Oh, let me speak to that.
Go ahead. Tell them.
Do not allow yourself to be imprisoned by their unwillingness to do what is right. You release yourself. Don't be imprisoned. Don't be a victim of people doing wrong around you where you're compelled to speak to them. Instead, free yourself from it and see if they don't miss the fact that you no longer are there defending how misunderstood they are. Let them feel the breeze.
I want to speak on that a little bit. When you were responding to that, what was coming up in my mind was divine feminine, honor, respect for self.
Honor,
and how
respect
it's
for
lost.
self.
Like when we do this type of behavior, honor, respect is nowhere.
When you start nagging and complaining and begging and please do this, you're gonna, if you don't do this, something terrible. When you start doing any of that, it's like that song, I'm gonna make you love me. No, allow the soul to have its experience after you have informed it.
Yeah.
especially if it's a grown-up soul.
That's right. That's your journey. You're in charge of it. I put respect on it.
And if it's not a frequency match, withdraw your energy.
See, sometimes people feel some type of way about it. They feel as though they owe something to the person. Or there's like these type of social agreements where it's like, oh, I can't not talk to them.
Oh, well.
Like, because of, whatever construct we're holding in our heads. We tell
Oh,
ourselves a lot of weird stories of why we have to continue to be susceptible to abuse.
I hope you can pull up.
Excuse me, I have more in the chamber. I was like,
I hope you can pull up. I owe you nothing.
oh, shoot. I'm not going to play it so we can monetize. And I don't
you
know how
can
many
tell them.
seconds. Look, okay, so I'm going to drop it in the chat while you're talking.
Okay,
But
so the idea is that we do owe people around us something. We owe them the truth.
yes.
That's it. You don't owe them a hamburger. You don't owe them a milkshake. You don't have to give them French fries. You don't have to buy them a birthday present or throw a birthday party, which everybody like, or give them a vacation. All you owe them is the truth. And that's all they owe you. So don't be looking for them to throw you a birthday party and you're going to get sad if they don't. Don't be looking for, if they get it to you, great. All that is owed to each of us is the truth. And that is what we should be in pursuit of, because if we pursue the truth, it will come to us. But so many of us, including myself, have become, at different times in our experience, we have become other than ourselves. Like, I'm not a nag. I'm not somebody who irritates another person by telling them what to do. But then I find myself that I have done that in years past with my children or with my partners. Like, free yourself of that. Like, I know you heard me, so I'm not going to say it again. I have often said to people, that's the last time you will hear me say that. Now, so now it's on you. That's the last time I'm going to say that to you. I'm never going to say that to you again.
That's a power move because, and sometimes it's almost like if we don't do the thing, we think we're going to lose their love. We're going to lose. And I'm like, look, if a person, and I was actually saying this to my grandmother last night because I'm going to share a little story and keep it brief. There was a woman in her neighborhood who was about to get surgery. They always see how she operates with her dog. Her dog's in good health. And she's about to go in and she wants my grandmother to take care of her dog. Grandma's like, I don't know, your dog got health conditions. I can't, people sue out here in Florida for this type of stuff. And so she says, no, I can't, unfortunately. And then so the woman finds someone else, but the woman's upset with her. And like, this spurred up a conversation. I was like, Grandma, you know how you can really know if a person is about you is if you stand in the truth and how they respond to it. Like, if what's in your best and highest interest is not, if they can't respect it, then you lose nothing. This is somebody who doesn't want what's best for you, and to honor you when you take a stand to honor yourself. And for me personally, I think it's a really clear indicator. I think there's room for flexibility too, in terms of like how much of the pullback, but I think, again, going back to honor the truth, like you said, we owe no one anything other than the truth. Truth over comfort.
I think it's a precog moment. Like, oh, you mad because I won't do it? Then I know what you would have done if I had done it. Like, it's a precog moment. Thank you so much. We're good.
Yeah.
We don't have to go any further because I can see in my crystal ball, I see you mad about nothing. You're going to really be mad about something.
Yeah. It was wild. The lady found a dog sitter and she was still mad at my grandma. I was like, you found a
But
solution.
that's my point. It's not about any of that. It's about her disposition to what she wants your grandmother to give her. She has decided your grandmother owes her something.
And this is
Nobody
just a stranger in an
owes
apartment
anybody
building.
anything. Nobody owes you
Yes.
anything but the truth. All the people who your mother you're so mad at, who you think owed you something, she doesn't. All the people, all the ones that have not been inspired to give you the birthday parties and the gifts and the education and all the things, they don't owe that to you.
Grow up. You had one birthday. All right.
You owe it to yourself to go get whatever it is you want. You wanted to go to art school, put yourself in art school. You wanted the birthday party, save up your money. You wanted to do whatever it is.
Oh my gosh, you are speaking to this card.
Yeah.
This is coming from a point of strength. Solutions come forth.
Be so grateful that you have grown to the point of strength and endurance and intellect where you can do it. Instead of trying to make somebody else do it.
Yeah.
Who, you know, if this is, you owe no one anything. You don't owe your children what you couldn't give them. The only thing I would say is get straight with your parents. You know, your mother and you are karmic.
Yeah, it's so
Be
real.
be right with your mother.
Yeah.
Did nobody else feed you from her own organs? Only she did that.
That's right.
No matter how much you love your boyfriend, he didn't do that.
Nope. No, he didn't.
You know, so I'm just saying.
If you asked him if he would have, he might like, oh. By the way, for those in the chat, the song that Laota was speaking of is I Owe You Nothing by the artist Sainabo Say.
So this is for, who was it that was asking, who was making a comment?
Lay Leonetti.
Yes, listen to this recording. I think you'll love it. It's so liberating.
Yeah, it's really good. We're going to play it after the live stream. We're going to have a little party over here. Russ Goldston, he says, we have to remove elephant thinking to free ourselves.
Not sure what that means, but...
Hey, Russ, circle back around. Give us a little more with that.
I'm thinking he means that, you know, you're remembering everything.
Ooh, yeah, that makes sense.
But
yeah.
so...
Never forgets.
So what I would say about that is that my memory is not at a deficit because I'm not mad. I remember, but I'm stronger than that. I'm still not mad. You know, like, I remember all the things. I also see my participation in them. I've decided to forgive myself, and by osmosis, or some of that goes to you, but I haven't forgotten. And when I see you, I can pull it up if I need to.
But the charge is different.
Yeah, I don't, but I'm not damaged by it. I'm not suffering. I'm not bleeding from those wounds.
Yeah, that's a
But I remember, and there's nothing wrong with the cognitive ability to remember. It's, are you remembering the trauma? Are you speaking from trauma instead of truth? The truth is, you let somebody do something to you, you were in the conversation. It was two of you. So you had something to do with it. Somebody mistreated you for 20 years. You had something to do with that. You kept choosing mistreatment.
Right, you could have walked out.
And if you finally did, bravo. You're ready to change. If you didn't, the opportunity still exists.
Indeed, indeed.
But looking back and having trauma is not, you might as well have stayed to be there in the trauma. Let go of it. But don't forget.
Yeah, don't forget. Because you forget, you're going to fall for the okie doke again.
Yes.
And this is what anti-life, they, we beings of amnesia, we forget what we had for lunch last week on a Thursday, right? Like, nah, not this Thursday. We know we had for lunch on Thursdays, but you know what I mean. So I love that, Laota. We're going to keep it going through the chats. There's a lot of comments here. Yusuf Muhammad says, Tarvars, thank you for sharing that insight. Fear depends upon your mindlessness. I think that's probably mindfulness. I don't know. I don't remember saying mindlessness, but I know you got to be mindful and aware and alert, astute. And it's effort that requires energy. And we have to be assertive with ourselves in the world.
Absolutely.
With others, and really be inside too, instead of so outside. It's a skill set. It truly is. Let's see, we got some more comments. We're a little over time, but Laota, you cool with going through some more of these comments?
Yeah, I love talking to our audience.
Look at that. All right, so Julianne says, I've gone through days where my signal is high, but then my mom can trigger me. I call it the doom and gloom talk. And days later, it starts to collect in my, it looks like the sentence didn't finish, but, in my field, and if I lose my awareness and stay in my own frequency, hold on, she's like chopping up the comments. Well, I think we get it.
Yeah, we understand, yes.
Yeah.
Just remember, the one who's triggered is the one with the issue. Yeah, I bet your mother's still fine.
Right? Doing what she do. Moving along gracefully, and you over there fuming. How could she talk to me? Her negativity and low vibrational energy.
3 days later, so when she's walking around and eating Cheetos in the kitchen. It's the one who's triggered is the one with the issue. The one who's triggered is the one who needs to release the issue. The people who are walking around and completely unfazed, and you're on the sidewalk bleeding because of what they did or said. We have to work on ourselves so that we can be as strong as what comes against us.
That's right. That's
What comes against us, when it is our own DNA, it is equal to us.
Look. I felt
So
that
that's
with my
even more.
grandma. I was like, damn, this is intense. Like, I'm not fighting grandma. I'm not fighting self. But Laota, the DNA, it is like, I have had these thoughts of, oh my gosh, I know I have past life stuff. But the way this DNA is moving, the way it's got a strong grip, and I'm like, get off of me. It's so,
That's what Julianne is saying.
Yeah.
She's saying that the force that is coming at her, that is not elevated from her own DNA, is devastating because it is equal to her own force. So now she needs a strategy, because you're going to have to learn Kung Fu.
For real.
You're going to have to be like, yeah.
Go ahead. Like if she cross legs, she'd be raising her leg up for the crane kick. You see her in person.
Yeah, so
It's like that.
You have
Seriously.
because you're not dealing with a stranger, you're dealing with the force of your own DNA, which is your challenge. And this is the best and the best of challenges.
That's right.
It's the best of challenges because you can feel the force of the power that you have in your DNA. That should encourage you. Flip it.
Yes.
Flip it and like, whoa, boy, we got some strong DNA.
Yes.
I'm going to have to work on a strategy so I can, like dodge those bullets.
That's right. Freaking judo, Thank you, Julianne, for sharing.
Gotta get on your, Jet Li.
Something. One of them. Jet Li, Bruce Lee, whatever Lee. One of the Lees. Pick a Lee, any Lee.
But it's important to understand that the reason it's so devastating is quite real, because it reflects back to you who your blueprint and who you are, only in detriment. It's reflecting you back to you in detriment.
Yeah.
And you're like shocked and surprised because you're not operating in detriment.
No, but it's funny thinking about that, because this is, remember when I was saying earlier about the solar plexus, pull completely back. Stop associating with that. And I feel like that's the thing, that's the trap. It's like but you're my mother, but you're my grandma, how I perceive. Nope, you my other me. I wrote this down the other day. I was like, dang, it was literally last night. It is such a movie. We are living a movie. We are the script writer, we're the main character, we're the NPCs, we're all the supporting cast, reflected back, God seeing self through other self, and like the necessity to really anchor and get with that, because it's like you say, the fight with your other self, and to pull back to diffuse it. I can see the prompting within our collective to do such a thing, to sustain power. We can't get where we're looking to go if we're over here having scrimmages with DNA, left and right.
The angels have shared with
Getting
us
beat up.
so clearly, be compassionate but detached.
Yes.
Detached does not mean you don't love someone. Compassion does mean that you are concerned, but be compassionate yet detached. Like, I'm not going to jump off this cliff with you. I'm encouraging you, don't jump off the cliff. I'm compassionate. I know,
Yes.
I know, but step off the ledge.
Yes.
But if you do, I'm not going down after you.
I'm not calling 911 either. You figure that out. All right. We got a couple more comments here. We got Shaka Warrior. She says, fear can arise quickly from a survival-based state of consciousness. When you take the time to regulate yourself internally through awareness, breath, and grounding, you begin to shift your own energy.
That is so the truth. Breath is so important. We should not misunderstand the God force within the breathing. And that whether you're having a baby or you're in the middle of a situation, traumatic situation, it is the breath that will pull you out the quickest. That's excellent. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We're excited about working with breath.
Oh yeah, it's life. It is life itself. It's the source. I can go on and on, but we got more comments here. This is someone new in the chat. Bioorganic says, recently decided to drop a friend. Because it's like, I thought you was a friend, but you know, the way you treated me, that's not very friend-like. Says, because she fears bees and said expressing gratitude to a piece of ginger was too mystical. She was like, what? Make that make sense. Like, what? She sound like, you know, when you tell the stories about the conquistadors mad at the Peruvians, like, because they were giving homage to the quinoa. I'm like, why are you being a conquistador right now?
So this is a religious construct that was taught to us, and it comes really through all different religions, but it is most expressed through Catholicism as they colonized different countries when they would come through, and the peoples had their regular homage and reverence for the things that helped them in their experience. And what Tarvars is referring to is quinoa was grown on the plateaus in the mountains of Peru. And when the conquistadors came through, because the people revered the quinoa, they were so thankful for the quinoa, they burned all the quinoa fields. They cut the hands off of anyone who was found with quinoa. And they said that it was, that they were worshiping that instead of Jesus. And so this is a precedent that has been set all over the world, where we don't have reverence for the trees or the blueberries or anything, because we've been educated that if we do, we're committing some kind of sacrilege. But in point of fact, you better be thankful for the clouds, be thankful to the wind, be thankful to the sun, be thankful to the ground. It is necessary for you to be part of the oneness, that everything is one, for you to appreciate that. Oh, we've got something going on?
No, we're good.
Okay.
You can continue.
So it is absolutely necessary that we organize around being one with everything, being one with all of the elements and all of the natural world and all of the aspects of the natural world, including the food sources. We should be thankful for whatever we're eating. The idea of the quinoa, they use the flour to set broken bones. They made the quinoa with coconut oil into balls, where the people who would run from village to village on relay could eat the balls or take them into war as food source. They were able to plant on just small areas of acreage enough quinoa for their whole families to live with a very little space. The birds who would normally eat the seeds, the quinoa was coated in something that was poisonous to the birds. So they had so many reasons to be grateful. And later, after the conquistadors stopped them from doing it, the ones who were shamans went to the higher altitudes where the conquistadors couldn't follow them.
That's right, you can't breathe up
because they
here.
couldn't breathe up there, and
Yeah.
continued to plant quinoa. But the ones who couldn't started to plant corn and potatoes, and then they started to have birth defects, because those do not carry the same level of protein and nor the vitamins and minerals of the original plant. So we can see that all over the world, we've been taught, don't be thankful to our food, don't be thankful to nature or creation. So that's an insult to Creator.
Most certainly. It's so wild how it's such a psyop.
Yes.
We have been duped to give homage and praise and worship to something that is, and again, this ain't no shade to Jesus, but like the idea of creation itself. And this is what's real. This is what's around it. And to fear it, to not like it, to turn our face, to kill it, to burn it.
That's that colonizing.
Colonized mentality.
Yeah, that's
It's
what the
off-world.
colonizers, the off-world came here and colonized us, and then we went and colonized everybody else, and now we're gentrifying everywhere. I mean, it's all the same
It's
thing.
terraforming.
Yes.
It's just wild, you know, so perspective is everything. There's a couple more comments in here. Russ came back with the elephant. I mean, we pretty much got it, but he wanted to explain it. He was thorough. He put damn near a paragraph in here. He says, when training a baby elephant, they tie a heavy chain around one leg. The baby elephant pulls, and cannot get loose. The mental program develops. I can't move when my leg is tied. Then as an adult, the 12-ton elephant can be restrained with a string tied to a stake because it has been mentally programmed and set a self-imposed limitation of self.
That's what happens to us and to dogs.
Yeah. Yeah,
It
with the
happens.
cage and
You ain't nothing, you ain't nothing, you ain't nothing. Oh, I guess I'm nothing. It's the same thing. Thank you, Russ. That's an
I
excellent
appreciate that.
understanding. That's how the brain works. What we hear repeatedly, we believe. What we tell ourselves repeatedly about ourselves, we believe, which gives us such an opportunity to tell ourselves nicer things.
Yes, yes. We have a comment here, Julianne. I bow to Laota. So she's probably like, her hands, banging forehead on the ground. I don't know, but honor, respect, and gratitude to you, Julianne. We appreciate that. And Yusuf says, thank you, Laota, for sharing the insight. Guidance is for those who ask. So how did you learn about the governance principle of the universe?
My training has been direct. I ask, as I recommend you do. I know that in our world we're always given reference to books. Like go
Oh,
to an
gosh.
old book, go to an old tablet, go down the historical path, find out what they did in Egypt. I have much less of that than most people. I do study somewhat, but I read very little and look at very little so that my work will not be contaminated with what other people think. So that I'm not always saying what the popular thing is that people think I am. If they think I'm shaman and they think that I'm in agreement with all things shaman, that's incorrect. I'm not. You know, I was raised Catholic and I'm not in agreement with Catholicism. I was exposed to many other religions and studied many other things, but
Continue
that
on.
doesn't
I'll
mean
be right
that,
back. Yeah, continue on.
oh,
I'll be right back.
that
Please.
doesn't mean that I'm in agreement with those things. So the way that I get still and I ask for help from the position of knowing that I don't know. And because I'm willing to not know, they are willing to help me know. I have found that in our world, that the way that the world is designed is that people have to be right. And so I have cured myself of having to be right or having to be the one that knows. And that way, information can come to me and I can be courageous enough to share it with you. So I hope that's understandable. It really has to do with being willing to know that I don't know and that it is available. The truth of the matter is, everything I need to know is available to be known in the same way that abundance and prosperity is available to me if I touch the frequency. So I strive to live within the frequency of receiving knowledge, money, exaltation, all good things.
So I want to speak a little bit to this because I just shared with you and Diane last night about this. So first off, here at Of the Sun, we are teaching how to connect directly to your guidance. It's been on my mind deeply of how necessary it is to be able to source truth from within. It is so clear. I know you all see. Don't you see how this AI is moving? It's already at the point where,
Yes.
and I was really good at distinguishing the difference. I'm into tech. It's beyond the point of being able to, at least the high-end versions, you can't really tell. You have to use some type of software or something, or go within and check with your guidance. So we're in a time where like you're gonna have to trust you. You're gonna have to trust what you're connected to, not outsource. But in that, I see where it has been this strategic plan to get us away from our inner guidance, our inner guidance, our true self that knows, that sees ahead. Oh, pivot left, go right, and bank a left here. There's a pit. There's a pit up there. You might want to go around that. Oh, don't engage in that. You don't need this book. Or the true book is observing life itself and what the hologram and the reflection is showing you. And so I was out of storage and I was looking through some books and I put it down and I heard my guidance say, "That's right. You don't need it.
That's
You're
right.
talking with us." And I can see how oftentimes because of the information overload that we get from the outside source, it can contradict what the guidance actually wants you to do. Thinking we're so intellectual or we have information.
And so it is not that I am not in favor of books. It's a light touch. I have a light touch. Because we teach here at Of the Sun to learn how to speak to your body, I will ask my body, should I look at a book? Then I'll ask my body, what chapter should I read? Then I ask my body, what page in that chapter should I read? Sometimes it's 2 pages in a whole book, because there's no point in me reading what I already know if it's a book that has things about things I already know, or if the information is below the level of what I already have.
I'd like to add on to it. I also saw through that exploration, because I do a similar thing, that it's a waste of time and energy to read through all of this information of someone else's thoughts, which, no shade, but like, I have seen through working with the guidance more closely that like, they want you to be impeccable with your energy and your life force. And so sometimes you don't need to watch an entire YouTube video or like read an entire book, you know, get what you need. Sometimes you do, you know, it depends on what is needed in that time. But how fortunate would humanity be in the position of being able to check?
This is why you never really have to worry about being led astray of the sun, because we're always referring you back to you and the laws and principles of creation, which can be seen in nature. They can all be proven through looking at nature. And we're always saying to you, learn how to get yes and no answers, which will expand each course that we teach, further expands your ability to be in touch with your own guidance system. So this is very different than what's going on in the world. We're not telling you you're anchored to us or chained to us or imprisoned. You're not. You're free.
To the E.
Yeah.
Free to the E.
Learn to do it, and if you need us to assist, we have devoted ourselves to be in service to humanity in that way. So we will help you, and we have a tutor, and everything is still teaching you and referring you back to yourself. I'm always saying, did you check with yourself?
That's right.
Did you check with your guidance? Did you check with your ancestors? Yes, we'll help you, but did you do that first? Because you're being taught to be the blueprint.
Yes.
Not the echo that we have seen through our grandparents and all of the generations before. And I know we're going long, so I'll stop.
Oh, we are, but the people are here. They're bouncing in and out, but they're here. So let's go ahead and just pull back, because there's a bunch of comments, and we appreciate it. However, we have went on longer than what we usually do.
Well, we thank you, Seth, for that last. That was so good for us to be able to talk about that. No one ever has asked me that. Thank you.
Yeah, most certainly. So again, if you all are still with us and you haven't liked, but you really like what you heard, hit the like button, you know, share this on your other social platforms for other people to hear. We're looking to broadcast this signal out. And again, if you're looking to work with Up the Sun and you're like, where can I start? I like what you guys are doing there. I don't know, you look like there's a lot going on. Book yourself a free discovery call with us, where we can go over your interests and what we have available in terms of entry-level classes or clearing services. And so we have a lot to offer. It's just a matter of just scheduling it. And then of course, we have some upcoming classes. Quantum Light Property Clearing is next month. We are also in the process of planning out the rest of the year, especially the second quarter. So we're looking to bring some new classes, also bringing back some of the older ones in terms of the entry-level classes that are needed. We're even looking to bring up Quantum Light Property Clearing Level 2 class, because we know that there's a lot of fresh new clearers who are like, is there more? We got more. We got levels and levels, so much so like we were condensing them and then we had to spread them out because we couldn't get it all into the class. So a lot of exciting things are on the horizon. And then lastly, if you want to get yourself this deck, because this is what we're working with, the Field of Frequency cards.
These are the divine cards.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I'm talking. There's a. All right. I don't want to spill the beans, but I'm gonna drop a couple of beans. We're working on a class for the Field of Frequency cards, and it would be an advanced ESP, not an advanced, but ESP class where we're working with frequencies and how to interpret frequencies. However, the Call for the Truth Divination cards, this accompanies Laota's Call for the Truth book, which is also available on Amazon. You can find these cards on our website or on Inlakesh Studio One's website, which is Diane, who facilitates meditations. But these cards, you can work with them daily, calling for the truth in your life. They're color-coded with the chakras. There's themes, there's powerful maxims, as we went over today. The Platonic solid, the element associated, as well as numerology. There's a really cool book accompanied as well that has all the information on how to interpret the cards and different card pulls that you can do as well, beyond just the single pull that we do on the podcast. So that's all I got right now. You know, I'm glad you all were hanging out with us today. We had a really good time. I know I did. I feel like you did because I'm over here speaking
I
for you.
did.
Excuse me. Yeah, you did? Okay, cool. Yeah, everybody happy. So thank you again for joining us. Any final thoughts before we wrap up?
Just a very heartfelt thank you all in Lakesh and Veritas with honor, respect, and gratitude, integrity, discipline, and action. Thank you.
Thank you all.